Want to hire a trader to trade the Forex market for you and get a good ROI on your capital without fear of abscondment or unauthorized withdrawals from your trader or money manager? For a market that trades around $5 trillion daily in volume, it stands to reason that there are traders profiting from Forex. Otherwise, the Forex market would have become unpopular and faded out. Forex Briefcase proprietary trading strategy and risk management techniques have been proven to be profitable over a data set of 5,000 plus real trades, not backtest results. You may be thinking, how do I hire a trader without the risk of trader or money management or abscondment? Running away with your money. Traditionally, investors transfer a sum of money to the trader's personal account to allow the trader to trade for them. This setup is unregulated and non-transparent, and it's easy for the trader to run away. With our Forex Briefcase MAM multi-account manager setup, investors deposit their funds with a regulated brokerage that adheres to strict rules, such that only the rightful owner of the account can withdraw from the account. This means that Forex Briefcase merely trades for you through a contractual agreement. Forex Briefcase does not have the rights to make any withdrawals. Now you can earn a passive income, having Forex Briefcase trade for you while you enjoy the flexibility and security of holding the funds under your own name. Contact us to find out more.
You got me running, shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Raise your hands up, raise them up.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Forex Trading Asia Daily Currency Call. So this is the currency call where you will get market economic updates, key support resistance levels, trade ideas, and more. So this webinar is going to be very beneficial to both the long-term investors and short-term traders. Here we will be going through what will move prices, possible trade ideas, and also highlighting potential targets and risk. So a disclaimer here, any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. Okay, so there wasn't any major movements or news in the FX market since yesterday's call, but I do see that there are quite a lot of economic data releases coming up this week, such as the USD CPI tonight. Tomorrow's RENZ will be announcing their monetary policy decision. And Thursday, we have Aussie employment data. But first, let's look at the more immediate data release, which is the USD CPI tonight. So today, we are with Jin Dao Tai, founder of LCMS Traders, a multi-million dollar trader, trading an account with more than $14 million on a daily basis. He's also an international speaker where he speaks in countries like Hong Kong, UK, US, Australia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Singapore, sharing his views about the FX market. Yeah, so Jin, I'll pass the time to you now for the USD CPI analysis.
All right, good morning, everyone. So as you said, right, Jinwei, not a lot of news coming over the past couple of days. And also we haven't seen that much of a movement in terms of the significant movements in terms of the US dollar at this point. So that actually puts a lot of focus onto the CPI news to be released later today, or rather tonight, at, as I'm sharing with you here, where is it? Later tonight at 8:30, the US CPI numbers and core CPI. CPI numbers was 0.4, expected to come out at 0.5. The tendency, I think we might see a relatively good CPI number. And CPI is the inflationary indicator to tell us whether the US economy is growing as per, or the rate of growth is possibly a bit more sustainable and for the longer term. Why we think that this is going to be a rather good number at 0.5 or maybe even 0.6 is also because the FOMC has been planning for that. The FOMC have actually stated that they are looking at CPI data possibly being good. They're looking for it to be above that 2%, above their target of 2% way, and maybe even more, and to sustain it at that level before they're going to take further actions. So it's probably quite key, quite crucial to see a good CPI number to be in line with what the FOMC is planning or what they're projecting. Highly important news data to be released tonight at 8:30. So would you like me to continue on with the currency?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so today's currency in focus is Euro. Yeah, so Jin, do continue with the currency call for Euro.
So, while I have the news open here on Forex Trading Asia, looking at the news with the Euro in focus, what could move prices? You can see we're on Tuesday today. Not a lot of news that we've just gone through have moved prices too much, but with the British pound GDP numbers coming out month on month, year on year, it looks like we might see some recovery coming there. That although the UK is out of the Eurozone, there's still going to be some influence on the potential moves of the euro dollar, but the focus comes back to the ZEW economic sentiment and also the German sentiment possibly going from 76.6 to 79. Good recovery coming from the Eurozone, but I think at this level, the upside, we spoke about this last night, but the upside might be a little bit tempered down. It might be a little bit tempered down primarily because of how we're seeing the impact of that I've lost count, second, third, fourth, fifth wave of COVID cases happening in the Euro area. We still see places being in lockdown. We still see places being closed off, economies being closed off. So that's going to have an impact on the overall economic sentiment. With that in mind, what else could move prices? We spoke about the CPI number tonight already. On Wednesday, we have some euro numbers, not going to move prices too much in this case. We have President Lagarde speaking on Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. That one could move prices, if she comes out with a little bit more of a positivity or a little bit of a, look forward into how they could stimulate the economy further. We could see some upside on the euro dollar. And then on Thursday, we've got Fed Powell speaking early morning on Thursday morning. A lot of CPI numbers coming from the Eurozone on Thursday. But as much as we pay attention to the CPI number for the US, don't pay too much attention for individual country CPI in the Eurozone. Think of the overall Eurozone CPI as a bigger factor, but we've seen that the CPI numbers for the Eurozone has not pushed prices too much. So I kind of tend to ignore the CPI or the inflationary numbers for the Eurozone at this point. And then we got retail sales number coming from the US. And on Friday, we have more CPI. We have the Eurozone CPI numbers coming out on Friday. You can see here the year-on-year expected to stay at 1.3%. So a lot of work to be done more for the Eurozone to try and push CPI towards that 2% target, the 2 to 3% target for the ECB. With all that said, with all that considerations of the Eurozone CPI, the economic sentiment, and also the US news coming out, how this looks on the chart. Looking at the euro dollar on the H4 time frame here, I was sharing last night with a group of students that we're looking for it to break that 1.1920 level. We were looking for it to break last night, pretty much at about that point, to break above that 1.1920 level. And if it did break that point, we could have seen rather big upside, possibly towards the 1.2053, or at least up to 1.1978 or 1.1980. That would have been a good 50, 60 pip move upwards. However, as an update of that trade idea, now looking at how the euro dollar is moving, it has been resisting this 1.1920 resistance level. Resisting this resistance level indicates that we might not see that big upside with the US CPI numbers coming out tonight, with a whole bunch of other economic indicators coming from the US, possibly with quite good data. I'm actually now revising that idea or revising that plan, thinking that we might actually see some downside coming for the euro dollar. Resisting that 1.1920, I'm looking now to see that if it closes slightly lower, if it closes maybe below 1.1887, we could be looking at a 40 pip stop loss for a good 90 or 100 pip take profit level. You're looking at at least a 1:2 risk reward ratio here, given the fact that it rejects that resistance level and we see some good economic data coming from the US. So again, looking at the euro dollar below 1.1890, 40 pip stop loss, 90 to 100 pip take profit level, above a 1:2 risk reward ratio towards the downside. With that in mind on the euro dollar, looking at the euro pound, we are seeing that early evidence of it not liking that zone above 8651. It's gone above 8651. It's gone as high as 8690, but it looks like it's turning down right now. So similar to what we're planning for in terms of the euro dollar, we could actually see the euro pound break below 8651 and head lower towards 8580, which would be quite a nice trade. 8640, about that point, you're looking at a 20 pip to 30 pip stop loss for a good 50 to 60 pip take profit level. Again, another 1:2 risk reward ratio at this point. But bear in mind, with how the euro pound could move, it's not only dependent on the euro dollar, but it's also highly dependent on how the pound dollar is likely to move. With the pound dollar, I'll tell you more about that tomorrow, but with the pound dollar now looking like it's rather comfortable above 1.3727, we might actually see some consolidation now before further upside. This consolidation on the pound dollar could actually work to the advantage of the euro pound, because if the pound dollar doesn't move, sits across, and the euro dollar does track lower, we could actually see that drag the euro pound lower off that 8651 towards that 8580 support level. So very quickly, looking at the euro dollar resisting that 1.1920 resistance level, possibly turning lower, with not that much economic news coming from the Eurozone, possibly some good news coming from the US, which could also in turn drag the euro pound below 8651 towards the 8580 support level. Back to you, Jiwei.
Okay, yeah, so with so many news releases coming out this week, I would like to pick Jin's brain on a little bit on what kind of news that he look at and what he don't really look at. So do stay tuned. So, but before I shoot the question out, I'll get Daniel here, a coach in LCMS traders, to share a little bit about how LCMS traders can help traders trade better. So Daniel.
Okay, thank you very much, Jinwei. So just a little bit, the background again, since LCMS traders started in 2014, we really helped a lot, hundreds of traders, exactly like yourself, going from completely confused, unprofitable to actually understanding the market, recovering the losses, and finally be profitable. Now, so that's why LCMS Traders Club really is anyone who's serious about being profitable in trading. Now, just yesterday, how do we go about doing that? Understanding the market, try not to be unconfused. So just yesterday, we just had in the club, we just had a group coaching sessions on a Monday, 8 p.m. We had a group sessions where we actually guide you through the current market conditions, show you how to identify trades and literally possible making profits together. Now, what we did yesterday was first, we will straight away look at what happened last week. What happened last week, because whatever news happened last week, we want to understand how it impact the currency markets, and how it could impact the current week as well. How could it possible impact the current week? Will it affect the currency markets? This is something we do. Now, with that, we're understanding the market. Some people always try to understand, how do I form trades plans and trade ideas? Now, this is where because we look in the LCMS Traders Club, we also look both the fundamentals and the technical analysis. Because we know that the fundamental analysis is the one that moves the market. We look at what happened in the market, how trade ideas will be formed. We have a lot of trade ideas happening in the market. We give you one or two ideas there, how it was formed, how the decision making was there, so whether to not only to enter the trade, we also look at whether to continue to hold on to the trade when it's active, and then at which point do we look to close and secure the profits. So we actually showed you the idea. We coached the students, give you examples, give you highlights to a lot of the members here on what's happening in preparation to learn how to trade yourself as well. But not only that, we also, what we do is we also look at the current market. Now we look at last week, we look at the current market, what economic news, what possible move markets, so that we could move in preparation for any trade ideas. And yesterday there were many trade ideas planned and analyzed. So now then, since yesterday, the club members have already had it all written down, looking through all the currency pairs, ready to do what to do for this week. A lot of members, or even those traders, just new group, when they open the chart, they don't know what to do. So this is a group coaching where we guide you and coach you to do your preparation, analyze, and what to do, and to know when to trade and when not to trade for the coming week. So really, yesterday group coaching is very beneficial to a lot of the club members there, and I know a lot of club members already was planning. And yesterday, after the coaching sessions, one or two was asking me, hey, should I continue on the total and trade? And a lot of interactions coming in the LCMS Traders Club, which I'll talk to you more about it perhaps later in the week. Okay, so those who are interested, just go into club members, join the LCMS Traders Club, and then you can join us together on the group coaching. We can join you on Monday and Wednesdays as well. Okay, this is how you could improve your trading. So, Jin.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Yeah, okay, Jin, so back to you. So, like you shared with us the economic calendar, there are so many news coming up. I believe it's not just about looking at the importance indicator there in the calendar. I'm pretty sure you have more structure to it. So, how do you actually find which news is better, more important, or which news is not?
Right, news, right? Most of the time, people ignore news. Most of the time, retail traders ignore looking at news for several reasons. One, there's too many news out there. They don't know which ones to focus on. Two, and whatever news they focus on, with that expectation, it comes out and moves against what they've thought it might do, they get even more confused. Three, they look at the news and then they start planning, they start gambling, they jump into trades before the news comes out, and they get even more confused when they lose money. So there's a big fallacy between, trading the news, looking at what news to focus on, and also using news properly. What I've actually done is we've actually made a whole concise list of only 7 news that you need to pay attention to. There's a lot of news out there in the markets, a lot of economic data being released on a daily, on a minute, on an hourly basis, but you cannot use all that to trade. You cannot use all that to trade. What's going to happen is you get too much information. You will sit there, you will be confused. What you need is a list of 7, which I have. I use my 7 list. And also, this list of 7 gives you the most consistent approach to what could happen. Most likely, if you see a good news on this list, you're going to see prices move up. If you see a bad news, you're going to see prices move down. These are the ones which are going to have the least variables. They're going to be not so influenced by the seasons. They're not going to be so influenced by the month. They're going to have the more consistent approach into what to look out for. I'll give you a handful of news that I pay attention to. Employment data is one. Employment data to tell you how many people are actually working in the economy, right? That's a crucial data to pay attention to. But it's not just about how many people are working. You want to pay attention to whether they're getting paid more or less for that work. So the wages is going to be crucial. That's one. The next one we look at is the PMI numbers. I guide you through the PMI whenever it comes up, but PMI numbers give you that insight into what businesses are facing. As much as we look at people working, people need to work in a business. And if businesses are not doing well, what's going to happen? They're going to start firing people. So we need to look into the future of what businesses are planning. Are they going to be doing well, or are they actually suffering and we're going into a expansionary or a contractionary phase? The next one I'm going to share with you all of it, but the next one I'm going to share with you is building permits. Building permits gives you that insight into investments into the economy. The more investments that go in, it shows that confidence, it shows that potential growth, it shows that long-term viability of the economy, that positivity coming around. If people are not looking to invest, if they're looking to save, they're looking to take money out of the economy, you're going to see prices drop. You're going to see valuations of the currency drop. That very quickly is just 3 out of that whole 7 or list of 7 that I have to share with you. A lot more to go through. It's not just those headline titles or the headline numbers. Look into the depth of it, look into understanding the news, and that's where you really can take your trading to that next level, not just reacting or getting confused when the news is being released, but taking advantage and planning before that news comes around. I hope that actually helps a lot of traders when they approach their trading with looking at the fundamental analysis, looking at planning their trades. If you want to find out more, then there is that free course coming up. We shared more about it yesterday already. I'm sure the link is going up right now. I won't say too much, just so you have to go attend the sessions on the 4-day course. I'll say back to you, Jinwei.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Jin. I've just posted up the links in the chat. So just go here and click inside. The course is going to happen on the 20th April and it's totally free. So just click on the link, find out more and just sign up. Yep, so we have come to the end of the session. We will see you guys tomorrow for the pound pair analysis. Thank you and goodbye.